Rejection stings. It doesn't matter how tough you are, how much experience you've had, or how confident you feel in other areas of your life. When a woman you were interested in turns you down, it hits differently. There's a silence that follows her no, a storm of self-doubt that creeps in, and most men are left wondering, was I not good enough? But what if I told you there's a way to make her question everything after she walks away? This isn't about revenge or manipulation. This is about power. Quiet, calm, inner power. The kind most men never develop because they were never taught how. See, most guys crumble after rejection. They beg, overanalyze, chase, or retreat into bitterness. But a man who transforms after rejection, who evolves and elevates in such a way that the woman who dismissed him starts to second-guess herself, that man becomes unforgettable. And no, it's not about trying to win her back. It's about becoming the version of yourself that naturally reverses the roles. The woman who rejected you starts watching you differently. She starts asking herself why she didn't see your value the first time around. That's when the power dynamic flips. That's when regret creeps in. This guide isn't filled with corny pickup lines, fake alpha posturing, or begging you to be someone you're not. This is about taking rejection and using it like fuel. It's about stepping into the kind of strength that men used to live by. The quiet dignity of a man who knows what he brings to the table and doesn't flinch when someone walks away. Let's break it all down. 7 clear, unshakable moves that make her question everything. Not because you chased her, but because you changed everything. Ready? Let's go. Before we start the video, I want to remind you that my exclusive online course on mastering the dating game is available now. If you've been learning from my YouTube videos, you're only scratching the surface. This course goes deeper, teaching you everything you need to know about the dating game, from approaching a woman to building real attraction. We just finished section 5 in the course, and you won't find this information on videos on my channel. It's easy to access with a secure payment option. Visit stoicapproachtolife.podia.com or click the link in the description to enroll now and improve your dating life. 1. Disappear with purpose. One of the most effective responses to rejection is silence. Not silence out of anger or defeat, but silence born from presence, from control. Most men do the opposite. They hover. They linger in her orbit. They keep checking her stories, liking her photos, showing up in her digital space like a lost dog waiting to be picked. But when you disappear after rejection, not just from her physical world, but from her digital world too, you immediately send a shockwave into her perception of you. The silence makes her wonder. Think of it like this. In sports, when a talented player gets cut from a team, he doesn't sit on the bench sulking. He goes to work, he trains harder, he builds strength, he studies game tape. Then when he shows up the next season, everything about him looks different. That's what disappearing with purpose does. You're not vanishing to lick wounds. You're stepping out of the picture so you can reframe the entire image. A woman expects you to chase after she rejects you. She's been conditioned to believe that her beauty has that power. When you vanish instead, completely and confidently, she starts to feel the absence. That's where the psychological shift begins. She checks her phone more often. She asks mutual friends if they've heard from you. She scrolls back to your messages. You've become a question mark in her mind. And human beings cannot stand question marks. We are wired to seek closure, but your silence gives her none. Meanwhile, while she's wondering, you are working. You're not hiding. You're becoming better, physically sharper, emotionally clearer, financially more focused. Your goals are louder than your need for attention. And when, not if but when, she stumbles across your name again, either in a conversation or by accident online, something inside her jolts, because the man she rejected is no longer the man she remembers. You didn't fade, you refined. That alone starts to mess with her memory. Was she wrong? Did she miss something? How did she not see this in you before? Those are the thoughts that come only when a man is confident enough to walk away without a show, without a post, without a performance. Movie characters like Bruce Wayne in Batman Begins disappear from the world to become something stronger. When he returns, nobody recognizes him. That's the model. You're not reacting, you're becoming. Let her feel your absence so deeply that your presence becomes a mystery she's desperate to solve. That's how you begin to flip the script, not with noise, but with a clean, cold, powerful silence that speaks louder than any text you could send. 2. Become the man she thought didn't exist. Every woman has a fantasy in her mind, a man she believes might exist, but doubts she'll ever meet. He's strong but not loud, confident without being arrogant, focused, disciplined, and rare. She's seen glimpses of him in movies, read about him in stories, maybe even felt a whisper of him in a few conversations. But most of the time, the men she actually meets are a poor imitation, and that includes the men she rejects. Now here's where things get interesting. After she turns you down, she puts you in a mental category, the not quite pile. You were close maybe, but not enough to catch her full attention. That's when most guys either spiral or sulk. But the man who makes her question everything, he uses that rejection as the trigger for transformation. This isn't about changing who you are, it's about stripping away what you were never meant to carry, the need for approval, the subtle begging energy, the insecurity dressed as confidence. You remove all of it. What's left is something sharp, solid, real. Think of movies like John Wick. When his world collapses, he doesn't plead with anyone. He doesn't explain himself. He becomes laser focused. His pain becomes a purpose. Now, obviously, you're not going on a revenge spree, but the principle is the same. Transformation under pressure. You take that rejection and let it refine you like fire does steel. Start building a life that makes no sense for a man who got rejected. That's how you shatter her expectations. She assumed you'd stay at the level she left you. Instead, you begin to operate on a frequency she didn't think you had. You don't post thirst traps or sad quotes. You show up better, your skin's clearer, you hit the gym harder, your conversation becomes more controlled, more direct. You start earning more, laughing more, commanding more attention without trying. And here's the shift. People begin to talk. Damn, he's really doing something now. Women notice. Other women notice. She sees it. Even if she tries to ignore it, she feels it. The man she once passed on is becoming the kind of man her friends are now paying attention to. Her curiosity turns into confusion. How did she not see this version of you before? You didn't brag. You didn't chase. You didn't try to show her anything. You became it, quietly, consistently, relentlessly. This is when doubt creeps in for her. Real internal doubt. She thought she made the right call. She thought she saw the full picture. But now you're standing where she didn't expect you to stand, in the spotlight she never imagined you'd reach. That's how you become the man she thought didn't exist, not by telling her, by showing everyone else, and letting her watch from the sidelines, replaying her decision over and over, wondering what the hell she missed. 3. Detach from the outcome completely. Nothing makes a woman question her decision faster than a man who isn't affected by it. Not on the surface, truly unaffected. When a man detaches from the outcome, she feels it. Not in a bitter or cold way, but in a grounded, self-possessed way. It's one of the rarest energies in the world, and that's why it hits her so hard. Most men crumble, react, or hang on emotionally after being rejected. They secretly hope she'll come around. They orbit, even subtly. But when she sees that you've truly let go, that's when the foundation under her starts to shift. This is where detachment becomes your weapon, not because it's a tactic, but because it's a sign of mastery. Real detachment doesn't mean you don't care about her at all. It means you don't need her validation to continue evolving. You've already decided that your path forward is independent of her decision. That alone sends a very different message than anything she's used to. Take a lesson from elite athletes. When a quarterback throws an interception, he doesn't sit on the bench replaying it for the next 3 quarters. He resets, focuses, and comes back sharper. That's what detachment looks like. the ability to shake off the play and focus on the bigger picture. Because the moment you internalize her rejection as a final judgment of your worth, you've already lost the bigger game, and she'll sense that energy on you. Now here's the twist. Detachment makes you more attractive after rejection than you were before it. It creates a paradox in her mind. She expected you to chase. She expected some emotional residue, maybe even a little bitterness. But when she sees you calm, focused, and genuinely moving forward, it rattles her. Why isn't he affected? She wonders. Why doesn't he care? That's when curiosity creeps in. Curiosity is the seed of doubt. Doubt is the beginning of regret. Women are deeply intuitive. They can tell when a man is pretending to be over them versus when he really is. Pretending makes her feel flattered, but true detachment, that hits her in the ego, it makes her question her value in your eyes. That's when her brain starts chasing you, not romantically yet, but mentally, emotionally. You've created a gap, a mystery, and people can't ignore mysteries. This is why you don't explain yourself after rejection. You don't give closure. You don't initiate emotional conversations. You don't try to make her see what she missed. That's what emotionally dependent men do. You simply pivot. You detach, not just from her, but from needing any specific outcome with anyone. And that energy, that unshakable clarity, it sticks with her. Long after the rejection is over, long after she's forgotten the exact conversation, the memory of how unaffected you were lingers. That's how you become unforgettable. Not by holding on, but by letting go so completely that she wonders if she ever mattered at all. And that's a question she won't be able to stop asking herself. 4. Upgrade in plain sight. One of the most powerful moves you can make after rejection is to upgrade your entire life in plain sight, not to flex, not to make her jealous, but because it's what a man should be doing anyway. The difference now is she's watching, whether you realize it or not. And when the man she turned down starts becoming more than what she walked away from, something inside her starts to shift. See, most guys upgrade in secret, hoping one day she'll find out and come crawling back. That's weak energy. You're not hiding. You're not waiting. You're becoming undeniable, out loud, but never directly to her. You're letting the world see it. And trust me, the word will get back to her. You don't post quotes about leveling up, you just do it. You stop dressing like you're surviving and start dressing like you're arriving. You improve your physique, you handle your money like it matters. You upgrade your circle, you speak more directly. You move like someone who knows what he's building. This is how you show the difference between who you were when she rejected you and who you're becoming now. Take a lesson from Tony Stark in the Iron Man series. In the beginning, he's flashy but self-destructive. When he nearly dies and wakes up to reality, he doesn't explain himself. He gets to work. He builds the suit. He shifts direction. People don't take him seriously at first, but when they see the results, they stop doubting. Your life should reflect that arc. Silent building, loud impact. Upgrading in plain sight also resets the social dynamic. A woman never wants to admit she regrets a decision, but the more evolved you become, the harder it gets for her to pretend she didn't notice. Mutual friends mention you, your image pops up on her explore page. A story floats around about something impressive you did. You become visible in places she didn't expect. And that visibility reopens old thoughts. She remembers the way you looked when she dismissed you, and compares it to the man in front of her now. That comparison alone breaks her narrative. But here's the secret. You never speak her name again. You don't try to force her to see. You never even mention the rejection. You let your life talk. Every win, every sharp move, every new standard you hold, it speaks volumes. And the beauty is, even if she never says a word to you again, she feels the shift. She replays the moment she said no, and it starts to sting in hindsight. Because you didn't just get better. You got better in a way that made it clear she could never come back the same way she left. She'd have to approach you differently now. That realization alone is enough to keep her wondering, and wondering is how questioning begins. Upgrade, and let the upgrade speak for itself. 5. Let other women validate you publicly. Nothing shakes a woman's sense of certainty like seeing other women openly appreciating the man she once rejected. It's not about creating jealousy on purpose. That's childish. It's about understanding human nature. When a woman sees that the man she turned down is now admired, desired, and spoken about with respect by other attractive, feminine women, she begins to question her judgment. Not because you told her to, because she feels it in her gut. You have to understand, women trust social proof more than their own instincts sometimes. That's why a guy can be invisible to her until her friend says, he's actually a really good guy. Or why she'll suddenly reconsider you after seeing how other women light up around you. Social dynamics aren't just surface level games. They're primal. And if you learn how to play this particular one right, you never have to beg for her attention again. Look at someone like James Bond in Casino Royale. He doesn't chase women. But when he walks into a room and women notice him, not because he's flashy, but because he carries an energy that draws them in, the woman who doubted him earlier starts to look again. Because now it's not just her eyes on him, it's everyone's. Bond never brags. He never tries to prove his worth. But the attention follows him. And that changes everything. So how do you apply this in real life? Start building real connections with quality women. Not to use them, but to sharpen your edges, to remind yourself that abundance exists, and to step into the version of you who doesn't cling to one outcome. You don't need to date every woman who smiles at you, but you do need to understand that female attention, when handled with grace and confidence, adds to your value socially. Be seen with women who respect you, not just physically, emotionally, intellectually, and energetically. Post a photo where the vibe is natural and clean, not forced. Let the world see you being respected. Let her see it, not in a direct message, but on her feed or in the way people talk about you. He's been glowing lately, her friend says, or that new girl he's with. She's stunning and seems grounded. Now you've entered her mind through the one door she couldn't close. Curiosity tied to competition. Even if she doesn't want you back, the fact that other women do reopens her emotional file on you. She replays your interactions. She wonders if she misread something, if she undervalued you, if she made a mistake. And here's the truth. Even if she never says a word, that questioning lives in her. Let women admire you without you chasing admiration. When the world sees that you're valued, she can't help but see it too. Not because you asked her to, but because you stopped trying and started being. And that energy, that's what flips the whole game. 6. Master emotional discipline. If there's one trait that separates average men from unforgettable men, it's emotional discipline. Not the kind where you suppress everything and pretend nothing affects you. That's numbness, not strength. I'm talking about the ability to feel everything, the sting, the rejection, the confusion, and still respond with clarity, restraint, and confidence. That's rare, that's powerful, and it's exactly what makes a woman question the choice she made. When a man gets rejected, his first instinct is usually emotional. Anger, sadness, or desperation. He might text her again, ask why, seek closure, or try to prove himself. But every one of those moves tells her the same thing. You had more power in this situation than I did. And when you show her that, she feels no reason to revisit her decision. She feels justified, secure, done. But when you master your emotions instead of being mastered by them, everything changes. Think of Rocky Balboa in Rocky III. When Mickey dies and Clubber Lang humiliates him, Rocky almost loses himself. But with Apollo's help, he channels the pain into precision. He doesn't lash out. He trains with fire in his belly, but clarity in his eyes. That's emotional discipline. That's the ability to feel deeply, but act strategically. That's what men forget after rejection, that how you carry your emotions creates your future. You can feel hurt. You can feel betrayed. You can even cry if you need to, but not in her presence, not online, not in shared spaces. You process privately. You rise publicly. Because when she sees that you haven't reacted emotionally, she's forced to wonder what's going on beneath the surface. She expected you to crack. Instead, you became colder, sharper, and more centered. Now understand this: women don't regret rejecting men who beg. They regret rejecting men who evolve with grace. The guy who fires off emotional paragraphs or passive-aggressive social media posts, she laughs at him. But the man who goes quiet, focused, and sharper in energy, he lingers in her mind. This is why you don't chase arguments or try to make her understand. That's emotional weakness dressed up as passion. Instead, you respond with calm detachment. You say less, you do more. You don't try to be unbothered. You become unbothered by committing yourself to something larger than her opinion of you. That could be your business, your health, your personal goals. Channel your emotions into discipline. The most powerful thing you can say to a woman who rejected you, without actually saying it, is this: I feel everything, but I owe you nothing. And once she senses that truth in how you move, how you speak, and how you don't speak, she starts asking herself if she misjudged you. Emotional discipline doesn't just make you stronger, it makes you magnetic, because the world is full of reactive men, but very few who stay calm when they should have cracked. Be one of them. Let her feel the weight of what she didn't see. 7. Rebuild your mission without her in it. Here's what most men don't realize. After rejection, the biggest mistake you can make is keeping her in the center of your internal world, even if it's subtle. She becomes the measuring stick, the fuel, the ghost you try to impress. That's not power, that's entrapment. And it's how you lose your edge. If you truly want to make a woman question everything after she rejected you, you have to rebuild your mission in a way that erases her from the blueprint entirely. Not as revenge, as liberation. Women are used to being the end goal for most men. Attention, energy, effort, all poured into trying to be chosen. But when she rejects you, and you step back to build a mission so consuming, so compelling, and so complete that she no longer fits into the frame, that's when she starts to feel the shift, because you're no longer moving through life with her as a destination. You've become the destination. A man on a mission is unstoppable. Think about Maximus from Gladiator. After losing everything, he doesn't chase a woman or seek pity. He fights with purpose. He honors what he lost by building something greater than himself. And because of that, people follow him. Men respect him. Women feel drawn to him. Not because he tried to be desired, but because he stood for something. That's what you need. A mission that isn't built around approval, attraction, or validation. You find something that sets your soul on fire and you immerse yourself in it. Maybe it's business, maybe it's fitness, maybe it's a cause, a brand, a vision you buried under years of trying to be enough for someone else. You dig that mission out of the dirt, clean it off, and make it your reason to wake up. Now here's what happens. She eventually hears about it, sees it, feels it through the ripple effect of your energy. And when she realizes you're building something real, something that has nothing to do with her, it unnerves her. Because now, she's not only irrelevant, she's out of the equation entirely. And that creates tension in her mind. Was I ever even that important to him? Did I misread our whole dynamic? How is he this alive without me? That's when the regret becomes emotional. That's when the rejection starts echoing back to her. Because men who beg to be seen are forgettable. But men who walk away and build something unrelated to the woman who denied them, they become legends in her memory. You weren't the man for her at the time? Fine. You accepted that. But now you're building a life so aligned, so powerful, so forward-facing that going back is no longer even an option. She doesn't just question rejecting you, she questions whether she ever deserved to know the man you've become. Let your mission replace the memory. That's how you win without trying. Rejection isn't the end, it's the ignition. When you respond like most men, you fade from her memory. But when you evolve with silence, purpose, discipline, and power, you become the man she can't stop thinking about. Not because you begged, but because you became undeniable. Let her sit with the silence. Let her watch the glow up. Let her hear your name whispered in admiration. And when she finally questions everything, don't be waiting. Be gone, busy building the life she never imagined you'd have without her. That's how you make her regret, without ever saying a word. And remember, if you're serious about mastering the dating game, don't miss out on my exclusive online course. We go beyond what's covered in these videos, giving you powerful insights from the first approach to lasting attraction. It's easy to enroll with a secure payment option. Visit stoicapproachtolife.podia.com or simply click the link in the description to secure your spot. Don't wait until it's too late. Take action now and start transforming your dating life today. I want to especially appreciate you for taking your time to watch till the end of this video. I hope the video helps you improve every aspect of your relationship with women. Until next time, this is Stoic Approach to Life.